crying out loud. Oh yeah. What's up, guys? This is your boy Eminem. This is your Monday's version of, or Monday. This ain't Monday, this is hump day. I'm not trying to get you guys back on Monday. This is Wednesday. Your version of treadmill motivation. Back in my element. Back in my sweats. Back in my dome cover to keep the heat in. This allows me to sweat more, to get all the impurities out, get all the extra salt out of my body. So that's why you see me in sweats when it's hot outside. Many of you, that live in those areas where it's hot, you're probably thinking that, man, why is he on those sweats and stuff? Because it allows me to sweat more. Appreciate you guys coming in. Appreciate you guys sharing this with your friends, share with your loved ones, share with those that need a little motivating today that you don't like. I know there's some people that you don't like. There's some people that don't like you, so I guess it's even. But I want to finish up today on our vital keys of knowing God's will for our life. What is God's will for your life? What is God's will for my life? What is God's will for our lives? And we're going to conclude today because this is day 8 for 8 vital steps. This is day number 8. And today, let me say this. We want to definitely keep in our prayers and in our thoughts those that are in Texas, all up and down the coastline of Texas, that have been affected by Hurricane Harvey. We want to keep them in our minds and our hearts and continuously praying for them. If you're in a position to help them, please do that. Please be careful. Everyone, please be careful when it comes to donating funds to all these different organizations that's all of a sudden popping up talking about donate to those that are affected by Hurricane Harvey, because there's a lot of shady people out there. There are a lot of scammers out there that develop these donating websites just for that reason, to scam people out of their money during this particular time. And it's sad that they do that. It's really sad, and it sucks that they do that. They take advantage of people's good nature in a bad circumstances. So be wise, be mindful of who you donate to, who you give your money to. Research them. Even the Red Cross, hello. I'm even weary and very mindful about donating to that organization because of the corporate leaders. Those that are in corporate positions are the ones that are getting all the bonuses. Hey, how you doing? All the bonuses that come into the organization. And that's sad. That's real sad that, Red Cross, as big as they are and as old as they are, that most of the CEOs, in that corporation are getting big bonuses. And I'm like, you guys, come on. You raise all these millions of dollars, and because you see all these zeros, you think you can get bonuses because you're in an executive position. No, come on now. You guys are getting these funds to help people in devastating situations. So Red Cross, you guys, you really need to step it up. So Salvation Army, you got my love. And those that are out there doing it the right way. You got these foundations and these organizations collecting money, and the money is going to where it's supposed to go. So that's my little sideline tip for today on donating money to a lot of these organizations and making sure that the money gets to where it's supposed to go. Keep these people accountable. Red Cross needs to be accountable, and how they bring in all these millions of dollars. All right, that's enough of that. Look, let me finish up what we've been talking about. Like you see, I'm ready to go. I'm already sweating. Hope you guys have been working out. Hope you guys have lost some weight. Hey, that's what it's all about. Treadmill motivation, not only motivating you mentally, spiritually, physically. We want to get you motivated to a point of losing weight, becoming more healthy. I was laughing with myself when I got on here yesterday because I hadn't been on in a couple of days. I thought I was going to pass out. you know, because I hadn't been on the treadmill in a couple of days. So, you know, I had to get all that food out of my system that I was eating over the weekend, Christine. You know, all that good food that we was having, them desserts, man, we was just killing it. You know, we was going to different spots, eating and all the good stuff, hanging out with some awesome friends. But back to what we do best, treadmill motivation, getting back on here, getting back, hey baby, getting back on here, sweating it out. You guys pray for us, because we're trying to get this weight off. And hey, all you guys that are friends of Christine, keep her accountable. Keep her accountable. When you guys see that we only have 40 days left, right, until our wedding, make sure that she's not eating all those pies and cookies and stuff. Help her out. Now, this is what she wants to do. She wants to stop all this eating, right? She wants to fit into that sexy wedding dress for her man, right? So you guys help her keep accountable. When we get to 40 days, you guys make sure that you keep her accountable, because she says she wants help. I'm putting it out there publicly that you guys help her, right, to do what she needs to do to get in that dress. You're gonna get in it anyway, but you know how you guys are. You guys want to make sure that it's pow, pow, pow. So help us with that, guys. We appreciate it. All right, today we're gonna finish this, and then on Friday I'm just gonna do a complete recap. Okay. Now on my last treadmill motivation, I know I went kind of long. It was like an hour. I was like, ooh, I was on there kind of long. But let me share with you guys on something. There's a lot of things that I may say that you may not agree with, and that's fine, that's okay. Don't get mad at a guy, okay? Take in what you can use, and what you can't use, you know, throw it away. What's my motto? Eat all the chicken, spit out the bones. So if I offended you in any way, I certainly apologize. But if it offended you to move up to a higher level than where you are, then I don't apologize, because you needed to hear that, because it was at an appointed time that you needed to hear it. Okay, don't use it as a disciplining tool, anything that I say, because I'm here to encourage, I'm here to uplift and enrich. You know, that's my my wish and my desires. You know, like I say, I'm not a guru, I'm not the smartest one in the classroom, but at least I'm in the classroom, okay? But it's just to enlighten you in certain areas of life, because as I share with you, I'm enlightened myself, okay? So I'm not one to bring a big stick and do all the hitting, right? I hit myself as well. So a lot of things, I've learned that it doesn't matter what people listen to. It can be Billy Graham and people would get mad, of all people, you know. But I know there's things that might be said that you might not agree with, and that, like I say, that's okay. You're totally within your rights to disagree, to not agree with anything I say, you know, and I'm good with that. It's quite all right. I'm not gonna fall out of friendship with you. I'm not gonna get upset. And I find that people get upset for two reasons. When they hear something, either in a positive way or a negative way, when they hear things, they get mad for two reasons. It's amazing that they actually get mad for the first reason, and that's because what they hear is the truth. People get mad at the truth, or they get mad at a lie. Now, I can understand you getting mad either positively or negatively in these circumstances, okay? If it's true and it's in a negative connotation and you need to change, then don't get mad, just change. If you get mad because if it's not true, why are you getting mad? Because it hurts your feelings? Because somebody says something about you, and all of a sudden now your feathers are ruffled, and now you're upset with them because they lied on you. Well, think about it like this. Think of it from a very optimistic way, right? Okay, they lied on you, they didn't tell you the truth on you, right? You know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. Maybe other people don't know it's a lie, and they're going to believe a lie quicker than they'll believe the truth. But if it's not the truth, try this. Try the opposite. Try being happy. Try being glad. I know that's going to take some work, because when people lie on you, you just want to get back at them and take revenge. But don't give them energy on reacting in a negative way because they're negative. Be positive. Show them that you're bigger than them. And if they lie, guess what? That lie will find them out. And the truth will find you out. So don't get upset. If it's true, don't get upset. Change in a positive way. But if it's true and you know it's true, you have reasons to rejoice, okay? So if I've said anything that's moved you to another level in your life, then, we're accomplishing what we need to accomplish, because what we want to do is ultimately be better than what we were and what we are. We want to be better. That's what we're all striving to be, is better. So this is unorthodox in all of its glory. Being coming on here on this treadmill, sweating and sharing with you. You have the liberty to watch or don't watch. I'm good with that, because it's going out to the masses. So whether one person or two people, they don't watch, I will never know. Right? Because it's going out to thousands of people, and thousands of people are being affected. And when things go out and you share things, I might misstep, I might misquote, I might not talk eloquently, but that's okay. You do things your way. However you were created, do it your way. If you want to start a Facebook Live, just jump on there. Don't wait until you got it all together and you're perfect. No. People want the raw you. They want you just as you are. And this is why I get on here raw, fresh, and uncut. I don't go back and I edit these things for YouTube. I just put it on YouTube. And how it's recorded is recorded. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. However, they just get it. I want them to see the real me. And this is who we are as children of God. We're not perfect, but we're working to perfection one day. But number 8 for today is take a look at your circumstances. Warning. Okay? Here's a warning. The information that you're about to hear may cause you to react in a positive manner. It may or may not, but hopefully it will cause you to react in a positive manner. Take a look at your circumstances. Today, God often clearly demonstrates his plan for our lives by lining up circumstances in obvious ways. When you look at your life and you look at how God has set you up, he sets you up not for failure. The devil will set you up for failure. God sets you up for success. Now, within that process, you may have failed, but you're failing to success. That's the beautiful part about living for God, because the failures that you think that you've made, the failures that you think that you've gone through, God uses those to share with others your success. Now, God also shows us what his will is not for us to do in the same way. So you have where he sets things up to show you what his will is, and the other one is to show you what his will isn't. Okay? What you will do and what you won't do. Now, it is not God's will for you to take a job that is not offered to you. Why are you going to take a job that's not offered to you? Now, you can look at that a couple of ways, but hear me out on this. Because we're talking about lining up for circumstances that are right for you, that are perfect for you, and knowing that God has set you up for this particular position. Now, if you are 5'6", brothers, if you're 5'6", you weigh 125 pounds, it is not likely, hear me on this, it is not likely that God has created you to play professional football. Unless you're a kicker. You're not going to be no linesman at 5'6" and 125 pounds soaking wet. Creatively, God didn't create you for that position. God creates you for your right position. So over the years, I've discovered that God is pretty good at opening and closing doors. Would you agree? Oh, absolutely. We all have been there. We all have experienced doors opening and doors closing. Some for the good, some for the bad. But even in the bad, you have to understand, you may think it was bad, but it was for a reason and for a purpose in your life that that door was closed. In relationships, doors open and close. Why? We have to analyze, we have to look at why those doors were closed and why those doors were open, okay? If God sees, and he sees everything, he's all-knowing, omnipotent. If he sees and understands, and he does, that you're about to get into a bad relationship. Now, if you've been praying and begging God for that relationship, you know what God's going to do? Because he's a merciful God and he loves you, he's going to allow you to get in that relationship. Now, don't be blaming God because it's bad. You begged God for the relationship. But God had to show you, look, you need to listen to me, you need to obey me, that when I say that this isn't good for you, you need to know that it's not good for you. So he will close that door. Now, on retrospect, there are relationships that you might not want to be in, but God is trying to open that door for you to go into that relationship because there's healing in that relationship. There's a blessing in that relationship. There's something that you need to gain from that relationship. But you're looking at it as, oh, no, that's not for me. They don't even look like I want, right? That's not what I want. They're not as tall as I want. They're not as thin as I want. They're not as light or as dark as I want. And God is saying, I got what you need. Trust me on this, okay? Now, he will give you the desires of your heart. We talked about this a few days ago. He will. He definitely will give you the desires of your heart, but you got to be obedient. Now, I understand that God will open and close doors in our lives. The Apostle Paul learned this over in Acts, the 16th chapter. If you look over in Acts, the 16th chapter, and you read about, you can read the whole chapter, but it starts around the 6th verse, and it goes down to about the 10th verse, where it talks about how Paul was on his way to certain regions to preach the gospel, okay? Now, this is your churchy version of this, okay? Of taking a look at your circumstances. So, Paul was on his way, or he thought he was, on his way to some of the regions over in Galatia. He was going through Paraguay, and he was trying to get to Asia to preach the gospel over in Asia. And then God closed that door. The Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, spoke to Paul and forbid them not to go over to Asia. For some reason, it wasn't for them to go. Now, sometimes God speaks to us in the same manner. If it's not for us to go, God will speak to your heart. And if you're sensitive to the Spirit of God, you will hear his voice and you will know that he's telling you, don't go that way. You don't need to be around those people. You don't need to do that. But if you're doing all the talking, you're not listening, you're not sensitive to his Spirit, then you won't even hear his warnings. You won't even hear him telling you not to go that way. But here, even in this, Paul went to sleep one night and had a vision. Now, this is how God closes the door, and then he opens another door. In a vision, Paul was in a vision. Let me start this again. And in that vision, there was a man standing in front of him. And this is in the spirit realm, telling him to come over to Macedonia to help them there. As soon as Paul woke up, he told his comrades, we're going over to Macedonia because the Spirit of God is leading us there to preach the gospel. So God closed one door and he opened another. My cousin, Michelle, lives in Arizona. She was sharing with me on last evening about how God had closed one door and opened another for her job. You know, she had gave her job a 2 weeks notice. You know, you do it the right way, right? You close the doors, you burn these bridges. But she did it the right way. She gave him a 2 weeks notice, right? Because she felt that God was moving her to another area. Now, in between that time, she's like, okay, what am I going to do, Lord? You know, you wanted me to do this way? You wanted me to do that? And, you know, she's just trusting God. And before those 2 weeks, I believe before those 2 weeks were up, God opened up the door that she wanted in the first place. See, God put her in a position to teach her. Okay, it wasn't what she wanted. She didn't like it. She was unhappy. Y'all been there? And God kept her there until it was time for her to move from that situation, learn from that situation, grow in that situation, right? Get some knowledge in that situation. And then he opened the door that she really wanted. That's just like God. But we look at where we are because we're unhappy and we don't want to be there. Because we want to be over here where the pasture's green, you know, it's flowing with milk and honey, and we over here in the desert. We don't want to be in this. We want to be in milk and honey. But God prepares us to go to the milk and honey. We got to go through some turmoil. We got to go through some dry seasons. We got to go through some hurt. We got to go through some pain and disappointments. We got to go through some discouragements to get to encouragement, to get to happy times, to get to joy, to get to, you know, all the money that we want to make. We got to go through the poo-poo to get to the gold. I'll say it again. We got to go through the poo-poo to get to the gold. All right. Paul understood that it was the Spirit of God that was leading him. Open the door, closes the door. God does the same thing in our lives. He opens doors, he closes doors. He opens doors, he closes doors. What are you learning from when he opens the door and when he closes the door? How are you looking at it in a way that's blessing you, not only you, but you bless others by some of those doors that might have closed? Some of the doors that open, are you taking people with you? Or are you just going alone? Take some people with you. Bless some other people to be blessed as you are blessed. That's the good part about it, is you're blessing others as they bless you. That's why we in the people business, to bless people, right? Okay, now let me finish this. Paul had come face to face with doors closing in his ministry. There are times that you're going to come face to face when God is going to close the door for you in business, and he's going to close the door for you in ministry. Even in relationships, he will open and close doors. Look at it in a way that God is trying to show you something. God is trying to teach you something. God is trying to protect you. God is trying to bless you. There's different reasons why we go through open and closed doors seasons in our lives. A lot of it is to learn, to share with others how God has opened a door or how God has closed the door that you shouldn't go through. So here, what we don't want to do is we don't want to look at it in a negative way to say, man, you know, I'm just going to stop trusting God. He closed the door. Well, there was a reason why he closed the door. You know, let's talk about relationships again. Let's say that the man is abusive or the woman is abusive, because there are abusive women. Let's say that they're abusive. And you don't know this because they're showing you the positive representative. You know, that's the representative, that nice representative that you see when you with them, when you out in public. But the real them is when they behind closed doors. And God is saying in so many hints that you shouldn't be with this person, but oh, you so much in love, but they going upside your head and they love you. Really? That's love? And God closes that door and you trying to pry the door open. I don't understand that. If you're in a bad relationship, why are you staying in a bad relationship? What's the lesson you trying to learn for yourself? Because if you're in a real tumultuous relationship, you need to get out of that relationship. It's detrimental to your health. But you love them, right? I understand. You love them. You like those bruises. Yeah. You like that kind of pain. No one should subject themselves to that type of relationship or that type of abuse. No one. I don't care who it is. Let me close this out. God uses doors, open doors, at times to show us what he does want us to do. Now, of course, This does not mean that every open door is definitely God's plan, but it does help us to give us an understanding that this is some of the basic directions that God is taking us in, is when he opens doors. Not all doors are going to be good, God. Not all doors are going to be God. I know I'm getting kind of deep, but he will open doors. Some doors will open and you're like, man, what the heck? Where did this come from? Who is this? Why is this? Let me share this with you. The next time that you ponder God's plan for your life, next time you ponder God's plan for your life, I would encourage you to mull over all of the 8 things that we've gone over in these past few days, few weeks. Mull over. Remember these principles. And we're going to go over them tomorrow, Friday. Well, I'm going to just do a highlight on all 8 of them. So if you missed any of them, if you didn't watch the videos, I'll do an overview on all 8 of them on Friday. And we'll see exactly where we are in these 8 vital steps of knowing what God's will for your life is, knowing what you ought to do in life, where you want to go in life. And if I can close with this from Isaiah 55:6, he says, seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he's near. While God is near, call him. While he's in a position of hearing you, call on him. Trust him. Know that he wants the best for you. And if you're not a believer, I'm not a religious person, because it's not about a religion. But I am trying to be a spiritual person, because it's not about, it's not about the religion. It's not about all these different man-made religions. It's about a relationship that I have with God. And that's the most important thing that we need to understand, is our relationship with our Father, not with all these different variations of cults and religious sects and all these, not sect, S-C-X, but S-E-C-T, sect, all these different religiosities that man has set up. It's your relationship with God. That's what's most important. Not being so tied up on the building, the 4-wall structured place, but in here, what you have in here is important. Relationship with God. And I'm praying that as we continue to move forward in the things of God, and we're sharing with you in this treadmill motivation, and God begins to open things up to you, share it with others. Don't keep it to yourself. Share what God has done for you. Share what God has blessed you with. The doors he's opened, even the doors he's closed. Those testimonies will bless others. Those stories will help others to rise above where they are. And this is what we want to do. We want to rise above the negative circumstances that we surround ourselves with every day. On your jobs, in school, in the church. You know, there's a lot of negativity in all spectrum of life. But we want to get to a point to where we can rise above that. Not in an arrogant way, but in a humble way. Be submissive. The humility should be rising more than, I'm tired because I'm kind of winded. But let me say this, and I'll get out your way. That in all of these 8 steps, all of these vital steps of knowing God's will for your life, I pray that you'll take into account that God wants the best for you, that God desires good for you, even though there's a lot of turmoil in the world, there's a lot of hatred in the world. God is still good. You have to trust that. You have to know that God is yet in control. Even in all that's happening, God is yet in control, and he wants the best for you. We have to go through, because this is the world. The world is yearning. The world is like in its last last 9 months of travailing, and the world is crying. It's about to birth something. And through all the pain, we know that through the woman's pain of giving birth, once that baby comes out into the world, that mother's like, right? But it's that preparation of that child being born. You're going to have pain in your life. You're going to have stress in your life. You're going to have trouble in your life. But trust God and know that He wants the best for you. Read His Word. Ask Him to come into your heart, into your life. Develop a relationship with the Lord and know Him for yourself. Not from what I tell you or what I share with you, but what you learn for yourself. What you desire from God for yourself. That's what's important. All right? This was short today. I didn't want to be on too long. I just wanted to give you the last vital step to 8 vital steps or keys. What really is God's will for my life? What is God's will for my life? What is God's will for your life? As you grow in Him, I pray that He opens your understanding to know Him for Him. That when you do have problems, that you will lean on Him, that you will trust Him in all ways, in all things. Even in your disappointments, look to God. In your hurt, look to God. In your disappointments, look to God. When I was going through my relationship hardship, I had to look to God. I had to rely on God. I had to trust God. I had to know that God had my best interest at heart. It wasn't easy. Never is. But I still held on to God's unchanging hand. I still held on. Even when some of my friends, my close personal friends, got mad at me because I got out of a relationship that wasn't right for me. And they mad at me. I'm like, why are you mad at me? Because I'm now changing my life for the better. Why are you mad at people? Really? Where's your loyalty at? Don't be mad at someone else that's your friend because they're changing their lives for the better. You might only heard one side of the story. You're really not going to hear my side of the story because I'm not going to, brag on that. No, it's not bragging, but there's certain things that you shouldn't talk about, certain things you should just leave to God. And that's what I've done. A lot of us, we just talk about everything. Just tell it all. La, 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 la. Right? There's 3 sides to a story, right? There's 3 sides to a story. What side do you listen to? The third side is God's side. You can listen to her side, his side, but what's God's side? That's why I'm not saying nothing. I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to justify anything. I'm moving in the way that God wants me to move, and the same with you. You don't have to justify anything. You don't have to explain yourself. Live according to the way God wants you to live, and allow people to see the residue of your positive actions. That's all they need to see is the residue of your positive actions. You don't have to go back and fight. You don't have to go back and say, that's a lie. She said this and she said that and he said this and he said that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares but the naysayers and the negative folk. That's where they get their energy from. So by me not sharing, talking about, how I was treated, how things, and I bet you, I guarantee you, the story that most people hear, they won't hear the story about how I did it the right way and I apologized. And I said, and I went back and I opened myself as a man and I apologized and asked for forgiveness. They won't hear that side. They only hear all the negative side because that's what people gravitate to. So remember that. Always do it the right way. Always allow God to lead you so that when people start talking about you, people be like, that doesn't line up. Something about that story just isn't right. That don't sound like her. That don't sound like him. Because you've lived a life that's exemplifying how you ought to act in a positive manner. So that's why, I don't get mad when I hear stories. I don't get upset. I'll just smile. And they be like, what you got to say? I ain't got to say nothing. Why should I? Why should you? Don't buy into it. Say, God bless you. Thanks for the information. I appreciate it. You know, I might be tearing you up on the inside, but don't show it on the outside. Say, thanks a lot. If that's what you want to believe, go ahead and believe it. You know, if you're my friend and you want to believe all that stuff and you know me, help yourself. Be my guest. That just lets me know that I need to check you off my friends list. You need to check some folk off your friends list. You need to cut some folk off. Let them go. If you really want to do the will of God, like we've been talking about, if you really want to be in God's will, you're going to have to cut some people off. Woo-hoo. You might have to cut some people off because everybody is not fit for your journey that God has purposed for your life. Everybody is not fit to sit on the front row of your life. Everybody's not fit to ride in the front seat of the car of the journey that God has purposed for your life. They don't even belong in the car or in the building because that journey is what God has purposed for you. Yes, there will be some potholes. Yes, there will be some bumps in the road. But it's all road. It all leads to success. Think about it. Bumpy roads, potholes, as long as you continue to go straight, it all leads to success. Appreciate you guys coming in. Appreciate you guys bearing with me. Hope you guys are working out. Hope you guys are getting healthier. I would love to hear some of your stories about how you're changing in your physique or whatever. If you are working out, I'd love to hear about it. If you lost weight, I'd love to hear about it. If I touched you, anything I've said that have encouraged you, I would love to hear it as well. If there's something that you want to hear, you want to know, whatever, contact us at lightswordministry@gmail.com, and we'll do our very best to, share some stuff with you. When we get our show back, Christine, the Malachi and Christine show, when we get that back off of hiatus, we're going to have some fun, y'all. We're going to have some fun. But you guys enjoy your day. Make it a great day. Make it an awesome opportunity in everything that you do. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Go out and bless someone. Hater day. Make it a hater day. Go out and bless your haters. Go out and buy your haters a soda. Go out and buy them something. Buy them some flowers. Buy them lunch. National Hater Day. Go out and buy somebody that somebody hates you. Buy them some lunch. All right. So, love God. Love yourself. And by all means, please love others, because that's what it takes to be in God's will, is to love those that don't love you. I know it's hard. You look at the news. You look at all that's going on in our society. Whites against blacks, blacks against white, Mexicans against that. It's like our races. It's the human race. It's not a black race. It's not a white. It's a human race thing. It's a sin issue. It's a sin issue. You love listening to you still going? I'm about to finish up, baby. See, she already checking on me. I'm done. I'm closing it down now. All right. It's a sin issue, y'all. It's not a skin issue. It's a sin issue. I pray for you that God blesses you. I pray that He covers you. I pray that He anoints you in a great way today. I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday. You guys be blessed. Live, hope, and change. And Christine, as I always end this, I love you, girl. I appreciate you being in my life. I appreciate God using you the way He's using you. I appreciate how you've come into my life and changed so many things in my life in a positive way. And I thank God for you every day. Love you much. I will see you guys on Friday. All right. Be blessed. Share it, guys. Share it out.